Boom. Hello, Yetunde. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. It's been a lot of back and forth to get this recording done, but finally we are
Thank
here.
you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me.
So happy. Thank you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's get started from this part this evening. Let me say a a woman managing a sport brand, like that's awesome. That's not something we see every day, right? How?
Well, I,
How
I
did you
guess
do you like
so. I
sport
guess
generally?
so. Yes, I do. I do. At least I've been following football since I was like a child because of my dad and my sister. They always have like these cute banters at home. Then moving on secondary school, I was able to like move with my friends. And I had a friend then, AY. She was a Chelsea supporter. And before I knew it, I started supporting Arsenal small, 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 small. And then here we are.
So you're an Arsenal fan.
I'm an Arsenal fan. See OYG. Gunners for life. I no get choice.
Interesting. Interesting. So do you actually look up to people like Kate Scott? Is Kate Scott now, not Kate Abdo?
Yeah, of course. Now there are people that you want to be like, oh, you get that kind of vibe, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So liking sports actually help you in doing a very good job being a social media manager for um Sporting Lagos, right?
Yeah, actually, because you definitely have to love your job. You definitely have to love the field you're in for you to be able to do something great at the end of the day.
Okay. Do you think, for example, what I'm trying to connect here is it is it you liking football that matters or your social media skill? For example, if I want to do social media management for a fashion brand,
Mm-hmm.
me like fashion, will it matter more than the social media management skill itself?
It will actually, because you can be very good at your job, and then when you try some niches or you try to get into some certain spaces, you find it very difficult because you're not connected to what you're doing. So looking at it from the fashion perspective, right? You have to love fashion, you have to love your social media stuff. So they can be like a merger, a balance to the things you're doing, right? Because you can be a social media manager, I may not really like fashion, but there's something you can infuse if you're really into fashion. You can really connect and think the way somebody on the other end of the fashion brand we want to look at that brand, and that's something you can like imbibe into what you do.
Hmm. And then like something you can't buy. You can't buy it. It has to be there.
It has to be there. You just have to have the love for it. People say that it's my job, it's your job, but you find out that you just end up developing like love for it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Probably when
yeah,
you take on project as well, your mind you may take up the project for cashier ring kotamaje, but you just find out that you just like start to love it. That kind of vibe.
correct, correct. But I'm looking at it that if okay, will you now say social media managers should niche down to something they really like? Say, for example, if you are somebody that likes sport, just like Yetunde now, would
Mm-hmm.
you say niching down to that area of social media management will make more sense than trying to stay broad and say, okay, anything I'll manage?
I think what I would advise is that for me, it's if you get to work in a niche or a space that you really love, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity that you should and you can grab, right? Because there are sometimes that you get into spaces that they pay more. Because truth of matter that is that sometimes you have to consider the pay. You may need to like jump ship at that moment. But if you get to work in a space that you really love, just find a way, just grab onto it because you may not like get the opportunity again. So I think that would be like my 2 cents on that kind of matter.
Yeah, because personally, one of the things Pakumas always told me some, let me say 1 year or two, about more than 1 year now, is the fact that I should niche down. You know, I do
Mm-hmm.
e-commerce
Yeah, I've
market.
been seeing your tweets and your results as well.
Yeah, I do
Let me
e-commerce.
go
I major
search
in
for you.
e-commerce. Thank you, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
before I used to actually confuse myself because I could do digital marketing as SEO, I could do emailing,
Mm-hmm.
SEO. Yeah. So I wanted to do everything. Then Pakuman was like, no, niche down. You've gone into the e-commerce space. you've done e-commerce in African grocery, you've done e-commerce in this particular brand, you've assisted perfume brand to rank. And this thing is, he now told me like, okay, just call yourself digital marketing for e-commerce. See, that is it. Just that is who you are. And you make more. Yetunde, my
Mm-hmm.
life become much more better when I did that, because I don't have to defend myself when I'm talking to you. I just show you my
Because there's
results.
workings already doing great.
Yeah, and those are the people I only coach DM. Those are the people I only talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and it's transferable skill, right? What you
Yeah.
did here is just you're going to get started with, and then you just try to do something. So I believe it's going to be same for social media. If you can have a space that you really enjoy, like you and I enjoy sports. If I say you're working with Sporting Lagos, if you do social media management for, let me say, CBS Sports now, it's still same, right? And then I think you will align directly with it.
Actually, yeah. And also that things I love to like pop culture. Like I like all this e news, I like celebrity news, those kind of vibe. So it just makes sense. And again, in our space, right, if you want to niche down, you could also try niching down via platforms. If you're very good on Instagram, you can actually focus on Instagram. If you're good on TikTok, you can focus on TikTok, if you get what I'm saying. Because sometimes when you do like interviews for those of us in the social media management space, they will ask you your strength, the strongest platform you think, I be the platform you think your strongest thing, and the one that you're not as strong as, that kind of vibe. So it's something social media managers can also consider. Rather than saying I'm a social media manager for 8 platforms, you can just pick probably Instagram and TikTok and be very good in it. You can pick Snapchat.
Yes. So niching down by platform is also, I think that makes sense. So I've not talked about that before, because I always
Aye.
think if you say you are if if you say you are just good at Twitter alone, something like that, I think people might not take you serious.
It depends on the space, right? If you want to do, like, okay, I've done 2 gigs in Big Brother, right? And most of the time, because of the nature of the show is 24/7, they will ask you which one do you want to do, which one are you strong in? Can you handle my Twitter for me? Can you handle my Instagram for me? And I think it's like that too when it comes to like bigger brands, even internationally.
Bigger
They
brands.
want you to pick the one like you have your strength lies in, that kind of vibe. It's only here that I'm pack everything. When you're even pitching for a social media manager job, you see like other people that they've pitched before you. They'll start telling them of how that we do graphics too, we do videos. I'm like, oh my god, you're spoiling things for us.
You got
So it's
that's
just where
serious.
we
That's
found
serious.
ourselves. I think I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was like, "You think people are even interested in doing 2 jobs? Who wants to do 2 jobs? Everybody just wants to
No,
live
no.
life. Everybody literally wants to flex.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
just want to live the easy life. Oh. But the way the economy is, the way everything is, you don't have
Means
to really jama. I saw one babe that
correct.
tweeted all this jamo self. I'm like, oh, such
Mm.
is life.
I get it. I get it. So if you're niching down by platform, do you think it affects the way? Okay, let me say, do you think platforms affect the way we think?
In
If
what?
you are like, if you're a social media manager now,
Mm-hmm.
and you are accustomed to Instagram,
Yeah.
does it affect your content creation? Like, does it affect your creative
Yeah,
thinking?
it's going to, in a way it will, because but then it depends, right? Because let's look at it from the angle of you're probably used to handling Instagram. You've been doing Instagram back to back for like 8 months, and then you have
Yeah,
a client that is
yeah,
willing to pay you huge money, and the person is like, "Oh,
for
actually, I
data.
want you to handle my Instagram and my LinkedIn, for instance." It's a different
Mm-hmm.
space
Yeah.
entirely. So you have to. That's where your own professionalism comes in. You have to go and learn. You have to go and work hard, even for everybody, right? When we're changing jobs, when we're doing like moving to a new space, we try to do our research. So that is just basically it. You have to go and like refresh your memory, like, hey, what have I learned in the other stuff? If you get what I'm
Mm,
saying. So that's just
I
basically
guess.
it. Because it's just even the way it is. If you're doing a job for like 2 years, right? And of course, maybe that promoting. By the time you want to change to another job, you have to start thinking like, oh my god, I need to go and double up. I have to go and skill up again. That kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. So that's
Yeah.
also the way it rolls at our end too.
Correct. Correct. That's all. That's awesome. But Okay, I would like to talk about career projection.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this go? Personally, one of the confusion in my early days of digital marketing is that there's no career projection. Okay, I'm thinking, what is the peak? What is the peak of this
Mm.
thing that I'm doing? If I'm
I
doing
get that vibe.
um so where is it going to? Where is this thing going to? Is it going to be okay? I'm a social media manager. Okay, I'm a senior social media manager. How? You know, there's so I'm very confused in that aspect. I don't know if you have something to say.
I think for me, when it comes to people like us, when it comes to like career projection, right? I think the peak or the highlights can be probably working for a global brand. Like somebody like me, imagine in the next like 5 to 6 years now, I'm probably working at Skims, for instance. I'm working at Nike, or I'm working at, let's
Yeah,
say, NBA. That's like a peak for
yeah.
me. And at the end of the day, we then we cannot circle back and come and say I have my own agency. I've looked at it. I've looked at some people that they started out like this. I've looked at patterns, right? They do that stuff. They work for companies before,
Mm.
within 5 6 years they kind of get like big ass
Wow.
personal clients, and they have their own agency, and that's just basically what they do. Then you see their post after that, they're on a farm or they're in the Philippines, they're having fun. If you kind of understand, so that's just basically how it is. If you look at it, life is actually a circle, right? It's just a circle. We are just working hard, you
Mhm.
come back, work hard, come back. For you know it now, everybody ends up on a farm or something.
Interesting, interesting. Because that part is very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
It got to a point I have to. It's I started from content writing, then that's how I have to. That's how I
Even me
moved
too. I
to
started
marketing.
from content writing. I started from writing BCs in
When,
school,
when,
in uni. That was, I think that was like 2017, 2018, right?
what
So
did you
because
study? What did you
I
study in
studied
uni?
mass comm, I went to University of Lagos.
Interesting. You're following your niche.
Actually,
You're following it. Oh.
actually, yeah, actually, I always consider myself lucky and grateful to God, right? So
Interesting.
for me, right, it was just basically BCs. That time, the easiest way to like kind of penetrate or get yourself in front of students were through student groups, mostly class groups, mostly hostel groups, and like that is inter-level groups as well. So people will need
Yeah.
like people to like craft catchy pieces to them with
Mm-hmm.
emojis and all those stuff. So that's how I started. Then I kind of started doing social media at that point. Little. And coupled with the fact that I did mass comm, so we kind of touched on those things. And I think by the time I was in year four, I think before COVID, sef, I already had a client, or during COVID or something. Yeah, during COVID, I had a client already. I was more into socials, and that's just basically how I kicked off.
Interesting. Interesting. Because me, I study statistics. I didn't study.
Mad stuff.
I study
Maybe
statistics.
that's why you are also very like the e-commerce and the numbers is nothing to you.
Yeah. I love the number part.
And
Maybe
it be
that is why I
fitting
love
you
the
now.
numbers. It's very interesting. The way I document my work. My clients always they always get amazed
Ah,
because at the end
are
of the
you
month,
serious?
yes, if I can see the way I document my work, my clients always feel like why? Because
You're, you're doing you're doing a lot now.
I'll show you everything from there was a class I joined last year, and when I joined her, she was like, okay, thank you for joining this and this. First month when I sent report, she now told me that nobody has done this for me. This is like you
Oh,
showing me every aspect
so
of
am
my
I.
business. I was showing her this is the sales
You
you
are saying
got.
I do it now. Normal stuff for you.
This is the sales you get via email. This is the one you
Mm-hmm.
got via Facebook card. This is the
And
sales
you
that
were
came
busy
into the
reporting numbers.
every numbers, just the numbers, all of the numbers from the clicks, from the impression, the best performing products, the product that are not
I,
performing.
I, I
You
like
get
all those kind of journey because it's very
yeah,
detailed.
very very detailed. So
And
it
those are
is
the things
actually
people need self to show that you know your onions.
I
Oh.
know my stuff, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what is giving me edge though, because I it's me that always say
I,
I
I
normally
think so
don't.
because I've kind of worked with clients, right? Like minus ones that are into the marketing space. They are also a bit curious and they want to know how like the process and everything. And by the time they get somebody and the person is really like spot on with what they do, kind of makes them happy, kind of makes them excited. Even when you want to like negotiate like a raise with them, they don't even mind because they can see their money's worth.
Yes. You know, the numbers get them in very, very intrigued because I document it on Excel, on Google Sheets, and I share my screen. It is what I do basically is what a business analyst should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I go way more than what an average digital marketer will do, which is just to set up the ads and boom, that is all. I go into the Shopify, I try to do what is called ABC product analysis. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll start showing you that okay, stop stocking this one. No, this one is not working. No, this
This
particular
one is
video is
working
what gave us.
better.
So this particular product gave us the highest number. There's one of my clients. She had more than 1,000 products on her store. When I was making analysis last year, I discovered that less than 10 of those products gave her 15% of the sale. Less
Wow.
than 50, yes, about no less than 100 gave her 50%, and 350 of those products gave her 88%.
Wow.
So somebody that has more than 1,000 products, imagine the person is now seeing that come only 350 of those give me 88%. That means more than 700 products
Mm-hmm.
are useless on my store.
Almost. So it's just
So
those
it
ones
it
that people are
amazes them.
really curious about.
Yes. So those ones, they will look like, oh, this product is selling when you stock a particular product now. And you just be like, ah, this product is
Mm-hmm.
selling, and it's not actually selling. It's because when people don't buy something and then they now buy them, it gets your attention. Say, for example, you sell Biro. People buy Biro from you every day. It's enough.
Mm.
The day somebody now comes to ask for pencil and you don't have, you now be like, oh,
Oh
the
my!
pencil.
If only I had.
Have pencil. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you forgotten that people don't normally buy pencil. That day just come. So it will not be on your mind. Ah, we need to buy pencil. We need to buy. Then you now buy pencil. You stock it up. Then it takes you like 6 months to sell the pencil. Whereas you sold your normal biro over and over again. So normally you should
Regularly.
not be selling you should not be selling pencil at all. But because
Mm?
somebody asked, you
You
just be
don't need to go
triggered
and
like
stock.
pencil that you don't need to stock. See, people. I think documenting your work that way actually gives you an edge. Do that also happen in social media?
Yes, it does, right? Because for me, I think I was even telling my students yesterday. Another reason why you have to document and make sure you have like your content calendars, you have all your reports down because of reference. You don't know anything that can pop up. Even you personally self, you may need to look for something and scrolling down the page may be a problem. But look at your reports, look at what you have. And for us, when it comes to reports, if you really read through reports, right, your let's say 2 months now, you probably had 1,000 impressions in December. In January, you had 800 impressions. In February, you had like maybe 600 impressions. You can look at it and be like, okay, December was Christmas. We're probably posting something that has to do with Christmas, or people are just feeling all festive, or we had like festive content, and
Mhm.
it could probably roll over into January. So it helps you to like, you can do a lot of stuff. At least you know where you're heading to when you want to analyze and look for the way forward. So that's basically how it is for us. And for me, you have to document those for doings because social media management is easier for it's so easy for people to feel like you're not doing anything until you bring out your receipt
Mhm.
and like, I'm doing something, that kind of vibe.
Interesting. Interesting. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's. What metric will you say people get obsessed about, but it is actually useless, or you can discard it? What metric will you say?
Okay, so for us, right, there is something we refer to as vanity metric, and that is like followers, right? People want to see followers, people want to see followers, but then again, you're literally obsessing over followers and you're not even checking how your engagement is going. Like, you see some pages, you see 50K followers, for instance, you now see 50 likes, 10 likes. That is very poor. Page is not performing well. So people really obsess over followers so much. They don't even look at
Followers.
other things. They don't look at the fact that they're putting out tweets, they're getting a lot of bookmarks, and people are like finding it
Mm,
useful. The followers are coming in slow, so they want boom. Same thing for client though. You onboard them today, they want to see 100% growth in 2 weeks. They're like
mm. Are you lobby star?
I've been
You're a
loving
lobby star.
that. As you just said, are you lobby star now? It's just the tweets that popped up on my phone. I don't. I'm just literally laughing.
Seriously, seriously. So okay, one of the things I agree with you because I just saw Gary V was talking about how followers is now becoming one of the useless metrics you might want to use to judge your social media. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's not the norm anymore.
It's not
People
the
are
norm
still obsessed
anymore.
about
Yeah.
followers.
People,
And I
yes,
think what
and
we are saying now
honestly,
is profound.
on actually, if you look at it right, what actually tells you're growing as a human being when you keep on increasing in age. But it's possible that somebody may be increasing in age, God forgive me, and they're not getting wiser. That's part of it, right? So it's also possible that
Oh,
you may be growing followers, but then the engagements are not really coming in as they should. You probably had a viral ad, and then people started following, and then they stopped engaging. So what exactly happened that made them to stop engaging? And that's where your content comes in, right? You have to keep on creating and developing high quality content to make sure that the followers you're getting, they are still keeping up with what you're doing. Like if you look at all these our blogs, all this gossip, share gossip love, no, gossip, hey, gist lover, like Insta blog
gossip.
Ninja, all those ones. Even if people don't see them in that explore, right, they go and look for them. What? Why are they actually
Mm,
going to look for them? It's because of what they post.
the
People are
concept.
interested in
Yeah.
what they are posting, that kind of vibe. So that's it. Your engagement has to be there. People have to be very much interested in your content, and from being interested in your content, you can see people talking about that page. People talk about Piggyverse. People like, oh my god, I love Piggyverse comics. I love Okwe from Carrywise. I love Zikoko's stories, that kind of vibe. So that is just, you have to just build your relationship with your followers and whatever it is you are posting to make sure that even if they don't see your content on Explore, even if they don't see your stories, they can go to your page and be like, Alpha, I know these guys have posted something very useful to me.
High quality content is something that is difficult to create.
Mm-hmm.
I always believe that for you to create high quality content, you have to think deep. You have to do a lot of critical thinking.
Funny
So
part is that,
what would you
for
go
me,
ahead?
funny part is that you cannot even tell what ends up becoming high quality content to these people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can
How do you
see a
define it?
trend now. You can jump on the trend that people are vibing with this trend. You do it for your brand. Nobody can relate. You may not have a good engagement, right? I may just do a very funny or witty carousel post, and you now see that one is having engagement. You're like, hey, yo, that kind of vibe. So I think it's also part of the, like, we say human beings are, we are social animals, right? We're unpredictable. So I think in a way it affects the kind of things that we also, like, we try to digest or try to consume digitally. I think it happens too. And on TikTok, for instance, right? Something about TikTok is that you may post a content, it may not blow. I can guarantee you, after months, that content can now start going viral. It's actually happening
Mm,
to me right now. Like I
wow.
said, I like pop culture, right? So I have a page for my BBN stuff like that. I post like 30, 40 seconds of happenings in the house. You know that this content, they do not, after the house, maybe people are feeling nostalgic. They're like, maybe they miss the BBN. The contents are just
Mm.
popular for me. I'm like, níbo níbo
Uh-uh.
níbo ní
That's impossible.
maybe they are missing Big Brother. So they kind of look at TikTok that which page can they follow. Before I know it now, I think before at the end of Big Brother, I had 4K followers on that account. Currently, I'm on 9K, almost on 10K. So
Interesting.
strange and funny.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Does your job change how you see the world? Does it affect you?
Okay, they'll
Does
say
it
as
changes
market, they'll
how you
say
see the
as
world?
marketers, right? Everything we see, we try to say, is this an ad? This can be better.
Mm,
The text is too small. So I think that's just it. Like I can just be going on my way and I'll say a billboard and I'll be like, why did they not do this? Or
mm,
if I were to be in the copywriter's mind, what could I have made better? And I think the common, like, jottings I always make is whenever I see a barcode on a billboard, I'm like, how is there a barcode on a billboard? Am I supposed to be driving by and bring out my phone to start scanning? It's not going to work because it's not effective marketing if you kind of understand what it is. I think that's just basically it. I kind of look at the world with an eye to scrutinize some things, right?
are you there?
I'm watching a TV ad and I'm like, why are they landing? What are they going to say at the end of the day? Where's that city? That kind of vibe. So I think that's just it for me.
Okay, let's talk about content. Is what is that darkest? Let me say. Okay, what was that rabbit hole that you have to go to get content ideas?
Mm, I think like probably the most extreme thing I've had to do was to probably like interview or try to rub minds with consumers of a particular product, because it was given I was not seeing things from the eye. You're creating content, you're not supposed to create content for yourself or for professionals. There's the way you want to create content, so like my bosses will see it, let me impress them, but sometimes you don't really have to go through that route, because you should consider your end users at the end of the day, people that are going to really see it on social media. So I think that was like the most extreme thing I had to do to make sure that okay, I was seeing things from these people's point of view.
Because why I'm asking this question is because most of the social media managers I see on LinkedIn, they write to their other people, to their colleagues. So, for example, most of them will say, "Oh, social media management is not just about posting." So they will do
Mm-hmm.
it. Then you saw that social media manager in the comment section saying, "Yes, yo, thank you for this, louder, this and this." So, and I think it's not right. I'm not saying that is, I'm not talking about the content itself. I'm saying many social media managers create content on LinkedIn for their own colleagues, not for the
Yeah.
people that should hire them. I think you
But
get what I'm
some
trying to say, right?
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think I even had a conversation about this yesterday as well. Somebody asked a similar questions. Sorry, a similar question rather. And there's a way you can like put your content into tiers, right? You can actually create content for your colleague, because at the end of the day, you need some kind of validation from that community. You need some kind of okay, oh, I trust this person. This person is good at their crafts. That kind of vibe. I also create content that directly targets a potential client, because when you're doing all those this is what I do, oh, I'm working for this client, this is what I've done so far, and your colleagues are like, hey, you're doing well, a potential client can actually sit and be like, oh, this person knows their stuff, and hire them. So I think that's where some of them, they've not really divided like they've not like tiered up their content that, okay, this is for clients, this is for my colleagues, this is for people that are like newbies. Because for me, for my tweets, rather, some tweets I put out, I'm like, these ones are for people that they don't know anything about social media management. They can come across it and they can learn from it. This is a tweet for me trying to connect with my colleagues in the space, connect with people that they've gone ahead of me. That kind of vibe. So some people they don't really recognize or that, or let's just say they're not yet intentional enough. They think they're doing the right thing, but they don't really they are not really hitting the nail on the head yet. I think that's just where we'll leave it as.
Mm-hmm. Because I believe for you to network in the industry, you have to network. Everybody knows that, but you have to be able to write things that your potential employer will
Mm-hmm.
read and would want to employ you. Your potential employer is not going to read. Social media management is not just about posting. No, no, no. That's not what. I don't think that's what the social.
It's more than that though. Definitely
Yeah,
more than
that you should be able to write content that would make them think deeper
that
and make them be like,
converts at the
oh,
end of the day.
at the end of the day, right? At the end of the
Because
day,
if, in as much as you're not really pushing sales, right? Every content is designed to take an action. Like if you work on standard content calendars, right? Your supervisor or whoever will tell you that okay, this content you've created, what's the end goal? What's the theme? What's guiding your thoughts for that month? Monthly content calendar, it's February. You want them to take love, love. So how are you expressing love, love? Because you're not the only one expressing love, love. Every other brand is doing the same thing. So what do you want to do that makes your own content stand out? And somebody will see it and probably take an action. If it's to follow, they follow. If it's to like, they like. If it's to save or comment or share with a friend, that kind of vibe.
maybe that's why people do some kind of edgy and kind of
Yeah, boss. They need maybe I don't sometimes when I see some funny content, I just be like there's probably that probably bunny fire on the head. They need to make up for numbers at the end of the month. And if it's something I can engage with, I engage. If something I can't, I just move on. Oh.
do you support edgy content? You like it?
I think I'm actually very indifferent, and the world has evolved, right? What was obtainable 2 years ago is probably not obtainable now. If you look at Ryan Air, they are very, very annoying, and they still have people following them. They see that followers are even growing, and in a way, at least they've tried their best to make their services better, the airplanes and everything. So, do you? I think that's just it. Do you? And make sure that it's not putting you inside trouble.
Not really, not
Also,
really. But the thing is, do you think your personality as an individual shapes the way you do the social media management?
yeah, it does. It does actually. Because there are some brands that I work for, and I may not tell my friend. My friend, you just send a screenshot like this person sounds like you. I'm like, it's me that. Like, sometimes you try to infuse your personality into what you're doing, because at the end of the day, people don't want to talk to machine. They don't want to talk to robots. They want to feel like they're
Mhm.
conversing with somebody. And the way you also do your content, the way you do your like manage your social media accounts, yeah, you may end up becoming that kind of person too.
Okay. But okay, for example, my one of my clients, majority of my clients are female. Oh. That's one amazing part. I can say 70% of my
Uh-huh.
e-commerce clients. Yes. So there's a client of mine that targets women, right? And then I work for her. I write the emails, right? So, in fact, the name of the email is a female name and all of these things. I try to embody that part. Do you try to embody this masculine kind of nature while managing Sporting Lagos
I
page?
think for me, because for us, right, what's at the back of our head is that we are building a multi-generational club, a club that can relate to everybody, old, young, male, and female. So I just try to put myself in the shoes of people. We actually have a very good amount of followers that are female. Funny enough, so there has to be like a balance. You're not too this, you're not too that. It's very, very straightforward. Everybody can relate. It's something anybody can see, and they may not even quickly guess that it may be. There are actually other female managers for international clubs. Not that for them, I think they will it will be more of, let's say, like more of a group of people doing socials, not just like one or two people. So yeah, that's just what I do most of the time.
So it goes to the fact that a man can actually manage a female centric brand
Definitely no.
and
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
do well at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
It can be a
Really? Have you seen
perfume brand.
example?
Damn, I know guys that they even know bone straight more than me. Oh. That they even know nails more than me. So imagine if they now get a brand that is selling person. By the time they are done with that type of page, yourself, the audience will be shaking.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. Where do you think social media management is going with advent of AI now? Where do you think it's going? What are you trying
No,
to?
normally, right, it was a
Mm,
matter of everybody needs a social media manager. There are doctors I follow on TikTok that they try to make their content more fun, and they've gotten adverts. If you see all these chiropractors, all of them, people that they have farm, they have haciendas, they all have social media managers. But then there's AI. But me, I feel like AI can boot us out too, because at the end of the day, right, AI can just help us to generate content, that kind of vibe. They cannot really do or make it human the way we do. So
somebody
they
still
can't
need
boot us
to
out.
use I think AI like tools.
Yeah, AI
Yeah,
is
they
a
are like
tool. Yeah,
tools.
they cannot
Somebody
really be
still
at the
use
forefront.
them
Mm-hmm. Somebody still needs to
because
manipulate
these
and
whole yes and use them. They are tools. That's what I'm trying to. I'm looking at with this whole AI bubble. Child deck. They says child deck is laying off people and then replacing them with chatbot. I was like, Nigerians, Nigerians that will see your ads
I
and they will
was
come to
actually
your
very
DM.
surprised because I didn't even get the gist until somebody tweeted and shared screenshots of the customer service person, and the person kept on repeating like, this is obvious, this is definitely AI, because there's no way they'll be asking you that kind of question. You'll not be able to say, is so and so that is talking, right? So I think so. So that's one for us. So we still have to be at the we still have to control
Okay, how do you use AI in your everyday life as a social media manager?
to like amplify or make better what I do. Like for me, for if I'm writing a content and I need to generate more ideas, it's something I can easily put in ChatGPT and be like, okay, how far? Like if you see the way I talk to my ChatGPT, before I even put my one paragraph, I talk to my ChatGPT like a person, because I've noticed that when you're providing more context, it also helps like my AI to be able to like do stuffs for me. So I do that. So yeah, what are we going to do? How can I make this better? Rewrite to make fluent. So yeah, that's it. I think most my the tool I use that is AI is probably ChatGPT and maybe Gemini or Gemini sometimes. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. In introspection, would you say a social media manager must, I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
must have copywriting skill?
He's a must too. He's a must. At least you should know how to write, or you should have taken basic courses in copywriting, because you are communicating with, how do you want to communicate with them? It's not just content as usual oh. There are crafty ways to do your stuff. Funny enough, in my social media courses, in my slides, right, when it comes to content, I have a module that is crafting content for social media, because to me it's an art, and copywriting is an art as well, so there has to be a way around it. So you must oh. It's very, very important, like mad.
If you could sit down with one social media manager, who would that be to have a
I,
discussion with?
not a social media manager, right? So they, I have forgotten her name. I'm trying to remember her name. It's not coming. But the person that is head of content for Push, Push is Courtney Kardashian's brand, and they are more into health, wellness, lifestyle. But their content, oh my god, I just love that content so much. So if I probably also have a sit down with somebody, to probably be her, as she heads content for Push.
Hmm, amazing, amazing. Well, we've talked a lot about social media management and all of those. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about life. What do you think
Life
about
is just
life
life,
generally?
with
Do
the
you
I
think,
just saw something from Ikeja now, that's light disturbance. I'm like, gosh.
hmm, what how do you think young women see life? How do you think young women see life generally?
I didn't get that. Please come again. How do I think young women?
Yes, how do you think they, for example, now, as a young man, many
Mm-hmm.
people feel like many of young men feel like, oh, in this particular life that I am defeated. Like I
Mm.
have to fight, I have to do this. I have to make a statement per se. That's how you see young men make money and then they start training it up like, oh, I have money, oh, I have money, oh," because there's a programming in their head that nobody will regard them until they have money. So it takes a lot of reprogramming and re-education for a young man to know that okay, you can actually make a mark in life, you can influence life, you can make an impact in life without money. Like you don't have to have a big amount of money like Elon Musk for you to make an impact in life. And life is more than money. But at a 20 something year, like 21, 20, young men define life from a financial point of view in totality. So I'm trying to say, okay, well, how do young women see life like in that 2021 age?
I think in that 2021 age, right? Typically, or the way it should be, you should probably be in your final year, or you should be done with school. So categorically and realistically, you're basically confused on what next to do. Because I think for me, right, it felt like a whole lot. I finished uni. I think for me, I was kind of lucky because I had like an older sister, somebody that had already gone through that stage recently and could easily guide me. So for young women, of course, who are basically not confused per se, is a what next kind of vibe. And after the what next, the what we're thinking about is to how to fulfill our needs and make ourselves comfortable. Women always prioritize themselves, and women don't look at things from finances as compared to men. They feel it until they have money they can enjoy their life. All the best for you. Girlies are people that we can be fun in a group. We can just go out, have fun, and that is basically life's finest at that moment. We can just get a cup of ice cream, and that is like life's finest for us at that moment. So that's just how it is. You're mostly, I think, speaking from my POV, you're kind of confused, like what next to do. But that's, I think that's why we should even like emphasize role of mentorship. When you have somebody that has gone ahead of you, it's easier for you to pick out from that person experience and look for a way to like mirror it, or how to like navigate your own life or map out your own life. So I think that's just basically how it is for women.
What biggest mistake do you think is it's a norm already when it comes to
Biggest
the life of a what's a
biggest
mistake? Yes, in the life of a young woman that is now normalized. For example, in the life of a young man, fraud is a big mistake that is being normalized because
Mhm.
every young man thinks life is about money. So, what
Mhm.
is that big mistake that you think is in the life of a young woman, but it's now being normalized?
I really can't deep anything, right? But if we're to just say biggest mistake per se, I think most of the times, like 80% of girls end up dating wrong people that you should not date. I think that would just be like just coming from the funny side. Although they say you kind of date people that you're not supposed to date to no experience. I hope girls can avoid people that we shouldn't date. I think that would just be like my 2 cents on that matter.
Yeah, but what's the psychology? How do women evaluate men? I know how they evaluate men at a young age is different from how they evaluate men when they are much more grown.
I can't really say, but I think for most women, it's more of a personal connection kind of thing. Somebody you can vibe with, somebody you can feel comfortable with. So I think that's majorly it, right? Somebody that you are not scared of. I think I saw a TikTok yesterday, and the woman was like, when she knew she liked her husband, when they were dating, was when she was comfortable to show him her back acne. So for some ladies, they have like back acne. So I think comfort is very, very important. Comfort, being comfortable emotionally, being comfortable physically. Like you can show your boyfriend your fraps, your stretch mark. So I think it's more of security, more of comfort for women. Yeah.
Than finance.
Yeah, it is actually.
I think so. I think so. I think for the fact that young women work, they make their own money, has shifted the have shifted a lot of things in the dating scene because they stop looking at finance. And majority of young men still think it is finance. And the world has shifted from being very extremely physical
Financially,
to being
right?
extremely psychological now.
Yeah, so I
Yes.
think that was how
Before
it
you
was.
could
I've
only
read
make
books, I've
money
watched movies. Yeah, olden days it was all about this thing. When you want to come and marry, they'll say,
on
can you take
strength.
care of my daughter? Like, can you? It was more of comfort.
Can you
But now
farm?
women want more. Women want more is beyond the money. Are you readily available at home? Are you the kind of man that can do the laundry if I'm tired? You should even be doing the laundry. Are you the kind of man that we can split the housework with? Can you back my child? That kind of thing. So
Are
things
you
have
reasonable?
changed. Yeah, the world
Yeah,
has evolved and it's very beautiful to see.
it is. It is. It is. It is. It is very beautiful to see. Let's look at. Okay, you said you read some books that shaped you. You want to talk about them?
I don't read that often though. Most of the books I read are probably novels and probably the literature text in school. Have I read recently? No, I haven't. I'm more
No,
of a novel kind of person. But if I
you're
come
talking
across
about novels.
articles, mini journals, I kind of read them. Mostly on communication actually. Communication or SMM. So I think that's what I've been reading recently. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person that will actually like go and pick up a book and say I'm reading. I
Because I
read
think as a social media
to
person,
upskill. You know what I'm saying?
okay, I was saying that as a social media person, you have to consume content for you to be able to
You
create
have to
content. Like
exactly.
you have
I
to
spend
consume a
hours on
lot.
TikTok. Oh. You have to
What
consume a
kind of
lot. Oh.
content do you consume?
I'm more of a. I if you look at my okay for you to write, I'm more of a cooking kind of person. Oh. That's where you see me. Like my favorite YouTube creator is a chef. I love cooking content. Then if I really want to learn, I go on TikTok. That like other. I can just search out social media and I'll see creators talking about what's working, what's not working. And from there, I start getting inspiration. And that's just basically it for me.
Okay, but how do you upskill? How do you
How do I
upskill?
upskill? I take professional courses, I take trainings, and I listen to people. Like all these spaces we join, they're very important, right? The last one we had, the one that Samo did, it really
Yeah.
helped me. Oh. I was trying to be stingy about upskilling for something, but
Mm,
when I just heard when you pay for some courses, you go that thing just really gingered
yeah.
something, and that's going to be my gift for myself in March. I'm going to go and pay for
Mm,
that course. I shall not be stingy with myself.
interesting. Interesting. So you're advising young, like people that are entry level social media managers to,
To
upskill. Is it
always
called
read
that?
or to always upskill and follow people and learn and even take feedback from clients because you may feel your client is doing a lot, right? But just listen to them. You may learn from them too.
There has to be a balance because your clients can be kind of a nuisance to sometimes.
Actually, there has to be a balance. You have to be able to decipher and even filter some things. Because they may say something and you're like, are you talking to me? But they just be like, you just carry your face and be like, oh, more. All the best to you. Part two.
Interesting, interesting. But let me ask you this question about
Okay.
religion. What's your take about religion? Personally, I believe there's God. I'm
Yeah,
also a
there is
Christian.
God.
Yeah, I'm also a Christian. But I have this crazy notion that there are a lot of things that God is not interested in when it comes to man's life. I believe He has given us some power. Anything He has given us brain to do, I think God does not meddle into it. My pastor has told me that I'm wrong, but I still believe that. I don't. It's a
Mm.
crazy notion. But what's your idea about religion per se? What do you think? What's your perspective about it?
So for me, I believe in God, right? And I believe that everything we need to prosper, God has given us. And in terms of everything we need to prosper, right? There are what you call creative ideas, that what you call opportunities, that what you call people. Now look at it from the angle of I'm thinking of starting a business for a laundry business per se, and I come across an opportunity. The opportunity is that somebody is giving out 100,000 naira to people that are looking to start a business. That's an opportunity, right? And then I'm looking for people to support me, my friends that are going to repost those things. So I feel like at the end of the day, God is not going to do everything for you, but God will definitely provide everything you need to, make whatever it is you want to come into manifestation or whatever. So that's just what I that's what I strongly stand by, right? That God is also very intentional and He cares about you.
Thank you so much about that. Let's talk about storytelling. I
Mm.
always hear that it's
Yes.
very important in social media management.
Yeah, you should be able to tell stories too.
Can you give an example? What is that? What is this thing we talk about? Storytelling, storytelling. I hear about it every
Okay, let's say listen to the podcast. It makes sense, right? Doesn't it make sense? It makes sense. But if you hear something I like to do every Sunday after my normal Sunday rise, chilling at home with my family, is listening to X and X podcast. That definitely interests you more than listening to the podcast. So it's just you have your copy, you have your solution. You're just trying to make it more interesting. Like there's a word we used when I was working in the former agency at that time. They say storyfy. You have to make it very interesting. Something that will make somebody to click it. We
okay.
all know where you are
That's
going to. You basically want me to listen, right? So how do you make me listen? So that's where it is.
okay. I think that's where the idea of come with me as I do this thing.
Exactly. Get ready with me. All those type of things. And there are different ways of even doing the get ready with me and the etc.
Wow, I think I'm getting the idea of a story
You're getting the
of story,
gist
and then
now.
everybody can, yes, everybody can use it, right? Everybody.
Everybody can use it, whatever it is that you're doing. Even like in church, Sunday school teacher, you should be able to tell stories. At your office, you should be able to tell stories. As a leader, you should be able to tell stories.
Because people like stories. Jesus Christ told a lot of stories, right?
Of course, he told us a lot of stuff.
A lot of stories. That's how you know that stories are very, very powerful. That's
They
one
are
of the
very
things
powerful.
that made the Bible so strong because there are a lot of stories in there. Just a lot of stories.
And actually, what has happened now has definitely happened in the Bible. Just need to search for that and pray for insights too.
Correct. There's nothing happening. There's nothing new under the sun.
There's
That's why
nothing
most
new
of the
under the
time
sun, oh.
when I'm talking to a client and they're talking about NDA, I always say the NDA for what? You think your idea is that profound that I cannot see
It's
it
not
in another?
though. Do you think another person is not even doing it?
Let's talk about money.
Mo only cocoa.
How should people charge? What should they charge? How can they ask for raise? These are the things
I
I think people talk about too often.
Yeah, ask for that's why it's good to document when you want to ask for raise. Because if you look at why you coming to ask for, why you coming to ask me for raise if you've not if you can't show me proof of what you've done, and if you can't quantify what you've done. So imagine you have that your data sheet now, you have all your stuff. That's your evidence. Now when I'm asking for a raise, even if I can't give you the amount that you're asking for, at least I'll be tempted to at least put small money on top.
Mm, mm. Documenting your work will do you a lot of good that you
A lot
don't
of
know.
good though, it always helps, and to even help you because you can even refer to it in some certain situation,
And I
and it's
think
easy
talking to other
for us to
people in the
forget what
industry,
we've done self.
yes, you use Google Sheets to document your work, right? So, because you have to put a lot of rows and columns and all.
For me, I actually, funny enough, I use Google Keep because it more or
Okay,
less jotting. So I put it this week. What did I do? This, that, that. Yeah,
okay. It's like you write notes, not just
yeah,
to.
exactly. I write notes, so it's so easy for me.
I mean, I don't write notes. Though. I always just put bullet points. That's it.
And that bullet point, oh, no, it makes sense.
I mean, sometimes it's bad, though, honestly, because I sometimes I will
Eh.
forget. I forget at times. I will not remember that this is actually what I did that helped this brand. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually moving away from social media management. I don't think something I can do. That's why I always say that
Long
this
time.
thing is yes. I don't think something I can do. I respect people that do it. Like they want to do it for long.
Yes,
Most of
so.
the clients I pitch for, when I'm pitching my e-commerce package to them, I only pitch Google ads, Facebook ads, email marketing, website, and SEO. They will always ask me social media. I'll tell them to hire somebody else for it. I don't enjoy it. So that's why that's why I asked that earlier that question when we started. Like, do you
Mm.
having interest in that niche is actually it's going to give you an edge for you to do social management in that niche. Because if you're
Of
already
course,
interested in
definitely.
yeah, if you're interested in food and a food content creator is hiring you, you will joyfully do the content and then you will enjoy, you know, editing the videos on CapCut and all of these things. So, as we wrap up, what will you say is it's the a collection of skill for a social media manager? What are the
I
collection
think
of skill?
top of the list is your copywriting and your content writing skills. And another one should be like basic ability to analyze data. Like I said earlier on, you should be able to know what's happening. Why am I getting more impressions this month? Why am I getting lesser impressions? And what might be going on, right? And you should be ready to adapt because your clients may be saying one thing, the platform may be saying another thing. You need to adapt. And you don't have to be rigid, just be flexible because there are trends you can leverage. Everything is not doesn't have to be by the books. Everything doesn't have to be by the content calendar. You can just chillax a bit. Do something fun on stories. Do something fun on Twitter, on TikTok. Bring out your clients one day. Do trends. Do all those kind of things. So I think yeah, that was like my final words on this podcast.
Okay, as we come to a close, I always ask a this or that question.
All right, I'm down. I'm down for that.
Okay, let's go. TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok,
30 seconds reel or 60 seconds reel?
30 seconds real.
Twitter or LinkedIn?
Twitter all the way.
ChatGPT or Gemini?
ChatGPT, my bestie,
Eba or Amala?
Amala.
Will you like Esther in the Bible or Ruth?
Esther,
Moses or Jobs?
Moses.
UK or USA?
UK in it.
Harmattan season or spring?
I think spring.
Egusi or Eforiro?
Egusi.
Thank you very much, Yeti.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Same here. So, anything for us before we go? One last thing.
One day Arsenal will win Champions League. Mm.
Okay.
I believe.
Keep believing. Yeah. Keep believing. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.